We've got three wide action going through turns 1 and 2.
And they're underway. Eric Hahn takes a nice jump. Wilson hasn't let him go very far.
Nice to go out here for Circuit Spa Francorchamps. Alex Johnson's off to a brilliant start there.
See just how oddly shaped this one is. We saw in the background Eric Hahn go for a bit of a swing, and he's gone and he's over.
New stuff. Cody Graham's the one-on-one up into second place. Alex Johnson 6/10 the lead at the moment.
They're dicey up front. There's Andrew Kessel, Justin Sang.
They are ready to go. The lights are out, and away we go for the very first time here at Okayama International Circuit. Finley Fitzsimmons.
Good evening, race fans, and welcome to tonight's main event. This is the Martin Sports Truck Series brought to you by Full Throttle Sim Racing and Team Goon Squad, bringing you the action 1080p in 60 frames a second if my Australian internet can allow it. Excuse the weird sort of intro at the start there. I forgot to hit a button, believe it or not, so that has happened there. Apologies for that, as we're currently looking at qualifying at the moment, and it's looking pretty good so far. We have had a few entries already. I'm not sure why the timing tower is deciding not to work for me. That is going to be a great start to the series at the moment. But regardless, we were just looking at Bobby Terrell, Tyler Brown now coming to a stop after doing his stints as well. Looks like Justin Diltz is there, and our timing tower is back. So there you go. You can see at the top of your screen, Nick Goebel sending the fastest lap of qualifying so far. But can that be beaten by Justin Diltz as he makes his way through? No, he's going to stay in the 8th spot for now. So here we are once again. We are at Texas Motor Speedway, 1.5 miles. Our competition caution, I should say our stage ending caution, comes in at lap 40, at the end of lap 40. And we have 134 laps in total registered for tonight's main event. So it is going to be a great day of racing. And thank you once again for joining us. My name is Gareth McAllister. I'm not sure if I said that already. Thank you for tuning in and trying to do my best to represent Team Goon Squad and the Throttle Sim Racing Martin Sports Truck Series here tonight. As qualifying has just gotten done, so we're going to get ready to roll through the grid here at Texas Motor Speedway. Starting on pole, Nick Goebel, as I said. Tommy Schaefer going to be starting alongside in our top row. Our second row is going to have Richie Coy and Brody Hanna. Third row, Bobby Terrell and TJ Bartel. Fourth row, Tyler Brown and Sherwood Williford. Ninth position in the fifth row, Kyle Milliken and Michael Lackner. Ryan Chapman and Cody McKenney rounding out our sixth row. As we cycle it on back just ever so slightly, Josh Mayu and Rick Webb are going to be in the seventh row. Joey McKinney and Stephen Hollingsworth are going to be in your eighth row. JP Burns, Tony Soler in the ninth row. Your 10th row, James Torrey and Colby Mees. In your 11th row is going to be, I have had a couple of troubles with this name before. It's Colton, I'm going to say Gum. It could be Gum. I'm going to say Gum though with the GH. I could be wrong. I apologize if I've ruined that one. Stephen Loomis alongside in the 11th row. The 12th row, Seth Vaughan and Justin Diltz. As we keep on scrolling it back here, Timothy Stubblefield starting in the 25th position. Joshua O'Connor, senior, in the 26th spot. Leonard Stang, 27th, and Maxwell Solch in your 14th row. 15th row, Lane Allen and Brian Hoskins. Steve Ange and Douglas Hess in our 16th row. Chad Curran and Alan DeRonco are going to be starting in the 17th row. Your 18th row is going to have Brandon Elder and Jeff Creighton. And I believe that is going to round out the end of our gridding here tonight, as the trucks are just starting to make their way around for the very first lap. We are in for, I would say, quite a good show coming into tonight's race. It's going to be good. We see a lot of action in practice. Speeds of around about 182 to 183 miles an hour, depending on draft, maybe a little bit slower than that, but certainly something to look forward to, as they've got to back it all the way down when they get down to pit road at a measly 45 miles an hour here at Texas Motor Speedway. So it's going to be something to get ready to watch. Our fuel window for tonight's event, 48 to 52 laps and 3 sets of tyres behind pit wall. This track did open. It's not incredibly old. This track, Texas Motor Speedway, only opened in 1996. So believe it or not, it's actually as old as I am, as we get ready to roll them down for the very first lap. It's going to be a good one as we get ready to go green here, and away we go. Nick Goebel starting it off pretty well right next to him. Tommy Schaefer not letting him go anywhere too quickly, though, as he continues to stay with him on the high side. Richie Coy and Brody Hanna there also fighting side by side. Richie Coy going to take that position away on that third spot, maybe even challenge second of Tommy Schaefer, as they continue to be side by side for the moment. Schaefer on that high side, just going to try and back it down in front of Richie Coy, able to get that done, as there's a little bit of a battle just happening as Brody Hanna looks to the inside, not able to do so, as Bobby Terrell and TJ Bartel are going to be side by side right behind them. Tyler Brown getting his nose in the mix there. It's a little bit loose on exit, it looked like, just a tiny bit, as Terrell is going to hold on to that top 5 spot. Slightly further back, it looks like Sherwood Williford was going to have a... There's an interesting... Okay, so there's a couple cars a lap down already, and falling back, I believe that's Brandon Elder, and maybe Alan Doronco as well was coming down pit road. JP Burns also coming down pit road. Not sure what the issue is there, so we'll have to see if we can get checked up on that later on as the race progresses. It looks like there's going to be a battle just behind, as Colton Boom side by side with Stephen Hollingsworth, and Hollingsworth looks to take that position away fairly substantially, as James Torrey tries to follow him through as well. A lot of good battling going on out on track at the moment, as it looks like further up front, sorry to pan away from the action, but we're going to more, as TJ Bartel is going to be following Bobby Terrell around that other lapped car there. It's going to be going down a bit. We've had a different winner every single race so far this season. We're on their 7th race of 13, so just on the halfway mark. And it has been crazy, as Tyler Brown sets the fastest lap of the race so far with a 30.21. So absolutely flying around, these trucks are. Not wasting any time whatsoever, as your top 5 positions currently held by a Toyota, a Chevy, and 3 Fords. F-150 showing its dominance in the top 5 spots at the moment. And on the grid, looks like there's more Fords than potentially any other make, as the Toyota, not often a very popular pick, but Nick Goebel is trying to prove that it's certainly worth the money, as Tommy Schaefer looks to the outside, not able to do so though. He's going to have to fall back in line, but does have a run. I wonder if he's going to use it. He looks to the inside of Goebel, and he's going to take that spot away as they go side by side, the 29 and the 25. Very, very close indeed, as it looks like Tommy Schaefer's just barely got the nose in to take the lead away coming into lap 7. So Schaefer is going to take that spot away, but Goebel's still on the high side, fighting off of turn 2. Coming down the backstretch now, still double wide. And Goebel's lasting quite a long time on the high side. Very impressed with how he's been able to do that so far. Richie Coy is trying to learn something as well, just behind, see if he can follow Goebel through. as Brody Hanna's also making his way up to the front. He's in third position now as he's gone underneath Richie Coy and tries to insert himself into this battle. I believe we've had a little bit of a blip up here in the booth. Hopefully that one can get sorted back out fairly quickly. As May back. Oh, we're struggling a bit. Alright, we're going to have to do some watching real quick. Ah, man, I have had some technical difficulties up here in the booth, and I will see you all shortly as I try and resolve this one.
Welcome to virtual Japan as we are here today for round number 6.
Oh, Pearson gets into the 95 of Bolts. Here comes the caution.
Flag is dropped here at Daytona, and away we go for the first time. Nicholas Porcel, Sean.
Looks like most get through unscathed. Look at that, there's Reed Gibson. A big move at the inside line of Dom's, possibly a little bit of contact.
Now, as we've got 3 wide action going through turns 1 and 2.
And they're underway. Eric Hahn takes a nice jump. Wilson hasn't let him go very far.
Let's go out here for Circuit Spa Francorchamps. Alex Johnson's off to a brilliant start there.
See just how oddly shaped this one is. We saw in the background Eric Hahn go for a bit of a swing, and he's gone and he's over.
New stuff. Cody Graham's the one-on-one up into second place. Alex Johnson 6/10 lead at the moment.
They're dicey up front. There's Andrew Kessel, Justin Sang.
They are ready to go. The lights are out, and away we go for the very first time here at Okayama International Circuit. Finley Fitzsimmons.
right, hopefully we are back and getting this one underway once again. I apologize as much as I can. We've missed a whole lot of action from lap 7 or so to about lap 22. Turns out the internet around my farm just went out due to a storm happening outside, so I'm hoping that that is not going to happen again. We are trying to get that one sorted out as much as we can up here in the booth. But Brody, Hannah, I am coming from Australia just by the way, so hoping that it sorts itself out and fixes itself up. But Brody Hannah has taken the lead while we were gone and taken it significantly with a 1.3 second margin over Richie Coy, who now finds himself in second position in front of Nick Goebel, and a half-second lead at that, as well as Bobby Terrell and Tommy Schaefer now trying to have a little bit of a go against each other for that fourth place position, just behind Nick Goebel now as they're side by side. Bobby Terrell makes that pass on the inside line. I'm not sure if he's actually going to be able to make it stick. We sincerely hope he can, as it looks like he does make that stick. So Tommy Schaefer falling down to the 5th position, as Kyle Milliken looks like he wants to get himself involved in this one as well. Not quite able to do so though, as he tucks back in line. Further back down the standings, we have in 10th place Tyler Brown, has just worked his way around Michael Blackner. Blackner's paint scheme there, just reloading in. Some of these schemes will be redoing themselves, and I apologize for that as well. That is just another side effect of our internet having its issues. But Michael Blackner has made his way on the outside line back up to Tyler Brown, and it looks like they're going to still be going side by side. That Red Bull backed livery looking very snazzy in the Red Bull backed Ford F-150, as he stays alongside Blackner, alongside Brown for the moment. He is alongside Blackner, as Hollingsworth tries to throw his hat in the ring, and once again has done so. He's going to make his way around Tyler Brown as well. Now, we have heard in the past that Texas Motor Speedway, not the kindest to a lot of drivers. Very easy to get some snap oversteer all of a sudden. So really an amazing job from a lot of these drivers to keep the car underneath them for the most part, not having any issues. As we may have seen a little bobble here and there, but very, very minor if there was one. And Hollingsworth right now is chasing down Michael Blackner, and he's going to take that position away, so great job from him. As Hollingsworth makes his way up into the 10th position. And this is going to be some of your closest battles on track. We have another battle slightly up front, as Kyle Milliken is going to make his way backwards, really, as he falls behind TJ Bartel. I believe Milliken actually hit the wall there. It looked like a little bit of a love tap to the outside wall on the start-finish straight. So going to be falling back, and that's going to ruin his run out of 2 as well, as he starts to get challenged by Schaefer and Chapman just behind. Chapman taking over that spot from Schaefer. So Chapman into the top 7 positions right now as he works on Milliken. Did have an earlier person in the YouTube side of things in the chat. Thank you for joining us as well. I apologize for not catching that earlier, but cheering on Timothy Stubblefield, the Stubbs. So he is currently running in 19th position, up 6 spots from where he started, and doing a pretty good job with a very nice black and white livery. I actually quite like that one, as he makes his way around in the number 12 machine. Doing a great job, staying pretty close to pace, just a little, maybe a couple tenths off of Brody Hannah at the moment. which is our current race leader. But this is where we're going to start seeing a lot of drivers with the will to keep those tyres underneath them for as long as possible. And really, where we're going to see those runs coming into fruition as who can do a better job of keeping those tyres underneath them. As you can see, we're still watching this battle with Milliken and Schaefer. Schaefer right behind Milliken, not letting him go anywhere as the two of these trucks battle side by side for the moment. We're on board with Williford as we watch this battle about to unfold. See the gyro cam there. Working its magic, showing you the banking in turns 3 and 4. We have 24 degrees in 3 and 4 and 20 degrees in 1 and 2. So definitely helping these trucks go make their way around the track as Schaefer looks like he has taken that position away from Milliken. But they're still side by side. Milliken gets a better run and Williford's going to try and follow him through there as well. Not quite able to do it, so Schaefer's going to retain that spot just behind Milliken in the 8th position. Oh, Milliken getting very, very loose. Thankfully, keeps it underneath him. He's one of those drivers that we've seen before run into that outside wall, so a little bit of issue starting to develop for some of these drivers as they have to run on fairly old tyres at this point. Williford making his way around Hollingsworth just behind as well, as we're on lap 35, so Brody Hanna is looking pretty good to take away stage number 1 at the moment with quite a gap. And there's a caution that has just come out for TJ Bartel, and he was doing quite well indeed, so that is not what we'd like to see. We're getting Leonard Stang being showed as going off track as well, so hopefully not a coming together of those two drivers. As you can see, a little bit of looseness there just in front. That's going to be the number 9 machine of Leonard Stang getting turned there by the 4 who got loose, and TJ Bartel in the 1 just gets caught up in it, and that is certainly not what we'd like to see at all. Stang thankfully keeping the momentum going, not locking the brakes in that scenario is probably the best idea he could have done, as he finds his way careening across the grass and doesn't come out into traffic. We'll give that one more look as we watch this one unfold once again. So he's coming out of turn 4 now, and Bobby Terrell just gets a little bit loose on that low side and just collects the 9 and the 1 in his path. So unfortunate to see that, as TJ Bartel was running just behind Bobby Terrell as well for position. So very unfortunate to see as the two drivers came together. But we're under caution, and we have received word that if these drivers are under caution by the time we've come around to complete lap 40, it does not make a difference to the stage points. It will be as it shows. So if we stay under caution for all that time, Brody Hanna will be your leader. Although, judging from this, I'd almost say we could potentially have a 1-lap dash to the stage win. So that could be very interesting indeed. I'm not sure, and I'm not exactly sure if we're going to go back to caution, though. I couldn't imagine so with only 1 lap of racing, but there is a potential for that to happen. As we pass the time up here in the booth a little bit more by telling you some interesting facts. Interesting fact number 1, Jeff Burton and Dale Earnhardt Jr. both earned their first Cup Series wins at Texas Motor Speedway. So we are interested to see if one of these drivers that have come out here tonight are going to be also earning their first win in this season of the Martin Sports Truck Series. As we have had, as I said earlier, a different winner every single race so far. So it has been a very interesting title race, that is for sure, as we are halfway through the series. Looks like Ryan Chapman, I believe that's right. Ryan Chapman staying out. I think that was Stang. Got Leonard Stang, Michael Solch, Chad Curran, Seth Vaughan, Brandon Elder, and Stephen Loomis. I think that was Stephen Loomis, actually. I believe they're coming in, and it's definitely Loomis. As we're still got the Pacetrack's lights on. So it looks as though that 40 will release the cars right as the stage 1 flies, unless we have an extended caution for a lap. But either way, either how, it looks like Brody Hanna will be winning stage 1 with Ryan Chapman and Tommy Schaefer bringing home 2nd and 3rd. Another piece of information for you, just while I'm sitting up here in the booth and we're watching these trucks pace around here at Texas Motor Speedway. In 2014, Texas Motor Speedway did a deal with, I believe it was Panasonic, to have the world's largest single HD TV screen fitted to the track. I believe it's on the back stretch. 218 foot wide, 94.6 foot tall. So it is a whopper, and it is called Big Hess. So Big Hoss, I believe, sorry. Which definitely deserve it of the name, that's for sure. As we start lap 40, see the caution lights, I believe, have just come off of the pace car. Brody Hanna, once he takes the green, will be your stage 1 winner, I believe. So get ready to go back to green. Last week's winner, Talon Smith at Coda, I believe not showing up to tonight's race, so unfortunate not to see them appear. But I can tell you that Coda, with these trucks, that was a great race to watch. Haven't already, go check that one out as well as hopefully you don't choose that one over me, as we get ready to go racing to green once again here at Texas Motor Speedway. Pace car makes that hard left down into pit road. A relative, not too difficult to get onto pit road here at Texas Motor Speedway. As Brody Hanna, it looks like, there they go. So Brody Hanna's going to take that caution stage victory. And that is back to caution for our stage. So not exactly what we were expecting, but something we knew could potentially happen as well. So a development here for sure. As you can see, the caution lights go around the catch fence. That's actually really cool feature for Texas to do that. As there you go. So Brody Hanna, Ryan Chapman, and Tommy Schaefer will be your top 3 for the stage 1 finish, with Kyle Milliken and Michael Blackner rounding out the top 5 for the moment. But we still have a lot of racing left to do, and we're going to get ready for it, as I would like to thank the fans once again for putting up with my internet issues, my accent, and possibly just me in general, as you watch these trucks go about their business and do their thing here at Texas Motor Speedway. thank you for all the fans at home tuning in, supporting the broadcast, supporting these drivers. We couldn't do it without you, and I'm sure the drivers agree with that as well. So nice to see them as they all come down pit lane, ready for pit stops. Not all of them, of course, but quite a few leaders. I'd probably say every single leader has come down pit lane. That's an interesting development. So, I'm sure you probably saw that as well. But Brody Hanna actually losing 2 spots to Goebel and Webb on pit road. Very interesting indeed. As it looks like Goebel's stop was very, very fast. Only 5 seconds as opposed to the average about 12 to 15 seconds or so that the pit crews go to work on these machines. So that implies to me that he has only taken 2 tires. That is a very interesting strategy call, and one that could pay off, but I guess we'll have to wait and see, as Goebel looks like will probably take over the race lead once it all gets sorted out. A lot of trucks still opting to stay out for the moment. Watch and see if they get waved around. It doesn't look like it's happening as of yet. So Richie Coy, I must admit, Richie Coy was... I see what's happened here. So Richie Coy has come down during our caution just before the stage caution. Got some tyres because he was aware that he was not going to get points from being round up at the stage. The end of the stage, excuse me. So Richie Coy has opted to come in earlier and has taken over the lead. So that is what has happened. I apologize for not knowing that sooner, and we get right here back into the action once the pace car has made that left turn. Yeah, next lap, I believe. So I don't know if I've done it yet either, but I also want to apologize. Doing a lot of apologies here tonight. As we apologize once again for potentially last week. If you were tuning into last week's broadcast and you were wondering why it happened, I saw a couple of you waiting for a Team Goon Squad broadcast of last week's race at Coda. There was a bit of a mix-up with the dates, and Coda was brought to you by your previous broadcasting crew. So I apologize for that one if you have been led astray. Not entirely my fault, but I'm not here to push fingers or anything like that at all. I'm here to have fun and apologize on behalf of everyone, basically, for potentially wasting your time, even if it was just a couple of minutes before you got dialed in and tuned into, hopefully, the right broadcast last week. But anyway, anyhow, we are on the broadcast this week, and Texas Motor Speedway has been providing plenty of action, including breaking my internet for a few laps. So we will see if we can sustain it for the rest of the show, and we thoroughly hope so. As Richie Coy and Sherwood Williford will be on your first row, on your front row. Colton Goom and Stephen Hollingsworth are on your second row, and Timothy Stubblefield as well as Lane Allen are going to be in your third row. So we're getting ready to rock and roll it once again. And here we go. Richie Coy gets a nice jump, gets a big push, excuse me, from Stephen Hollingsworth, who is going to follow straight through. Williford dropping down the order to third. Lane Allen getting around Colton Boom as well. That inside lane doing a great job of getting the restart done and dialed in. As the top side has a little bit of a wait, as we've got a pass for the lead happening, as Hollingsworth has made his way through, showing intense pace on the short run. We saw Hollingsworth have quite a bit of pace on the long run before the caution as well. So if that's the case, it's going to be really hard to stop that 19 machine from running away with it. He's currently 15 positions up from where he started. Doing an amazing job so far as we fan out 3 wide further back down the standings. Thankfully getting it dialed into 2 wide as we approach turn 4. As Brody Hanna with those brand new sets of tyres are going to try and make their way around Stephen Ange. And able to do so on the low side of the track. Kyle Milliken, trying to follow through as well. And we've got battles going all over the place. It looks like TJ Bartel is thinking about making a move on Stubblefield. Terrell has made a move on Allen. So Terrell takes over the 5th place spot for the moment. And Sherwood Williford just putting down the fastest lap of the race all of a sudden, a 30.13. So about a 10th faster than what we were seeing in the first run. So these drivers getting more and more comfortable as time wears on. As you can see, Bartel is still on the inside of Stubblefield now. Stubblefield trying high. It's not working out for him incredibly well at the moment. He's going to be strung up to dry as he is stuck up there. And there is a whole train coming through on the inside line. That outside line can work if he gets the right run, and it looks like he might do against Solaire. Maybe just has enough to clear him, and does. So gets underneath and down to the bottom lane. Fantastic stuff there as Goebel saw what happened. Tries to do the same. Loses the rear end just a little bit. Able to get it back underneath him. Thank goodness for that. As Brody Hanna chucks their nose on the inside of Goebel. Goebel is going to have to check up on the high side a little bit as Solaire still goes a little bit 3 wide, hinting at it. Brody deciding against it. I would say that's probably the right call for the most part. As Brody Hanna tries to follow Goebel around Solaire for the 10th place spot now. Brody is trying to make his way in there. Solaire and Milliken not too far behind Brody either, as Solaire tries to find something in that machine. A little bit older tyres than some of the guys that are currently chasing him down. They're finding it hard to keep up. Even with a couple of laps difference, it makes a huge difference to the amount of speed you can carry through these corners, and we're showing an example of that right now as Goebel really catches up to the back of Stubblefield super quickly. And makes that pass for the 8th position, as Stubblefield falls behind Brody Hanna as well. Trying that high side run, get more speed off of the corner, but is going to tuck behind now. So Brody Hanna and Goebel sticking right behind each other. They seem to have sorted something out. And I wonder if Brody's going to almost push Goebel to be faster and faster, work together, try and catch up to some of the drivers up in front of him. And as I say that, of course, proven wrong straight away as Brody Hanna just chucks it down to the inside and takes that position away from Goebel. Slightly further back, you can see the battle between Milliken and Solaire. Tyler Brown and Chapman also going side by side just behind them, as Chapman has that low side line. Don't worry yourself, we're still keeping an eye on the top battle and seeing just how close it gets, as it looks like we're going to pan straight back to that as Richie Coy tries something to the inside, and Coy tries to something to the inside of Hollingsworth and able to get it done at the moment. and is going to take the position away at the line. Hollingsworth jumps straight into the draft, absolutely speeding as the 19 machine is trying to fight back to keep that dream alive, staying in front of Richie Coy, but Sherwood Williford is right there behind as well, showing a lot of pace all of a sudden as well. So these three drivers leading the field at the moment, with a little bit more than half a second gap between Williford and Goom sitting in the third and fourth positions. You can see two drivers of two three-pack driver. I'm going to say that in a weird way. Two packs of three drivers. There we go. as we try our best up here in the booth. Bobby Terrell looked to potentially make a move on Goom. Does not do so. And once again, I apologize if Goom's name is actually Gum. But regardless from that, so I have just seen, and apologies if it's taken me this long, Sam Sponcelli, great name by the way, is asking, will the rest of the truck season be on this channel? And the answer to that is no. We are purely doing this because the usual broadcast team, no, I believe it's no anyway, the usual broadcast team is away for this particular week, so they asked us to fill in for them. So Team Goon Squad will do just that, as we can help out any broadcasting series, anytime, any place. If we can provide the service that they would like, we will do so. As Goebel and Brown right behind each other now. So Chapman has made the move around Goebel, and so has Brody Hanna, who's found himself all of a sudden in the top 7. So Hanna is making no qualms about showing us exactly how quick they were earlier on to make that stage win possible, and working their way back up to the front. Lane Allen and the firing line of Brody Hanna now. And there you go. So Brody Hanna is doing an amazing job. I mean, it's almost like watching a master craftsman with Brody Hanna. I don't know how he's able to do exactly what he does, but he's certainly the one to watch at Texas at the moment. As TJ Bartel also trying to make that move on Allen now. For that 8th place position, 7th place, excuse me. As we make the best of what we got up here in the booth. It's a one-man show here tonight. As I'm sure you could hear, I'm controlling all the cameras and all of the action that is being called from my very small little mouth. So, Tommy Schaefer all the way back in 15th position, looking very, very close to Cody McKinney, and trying to see if something can happen there to take over that 14th spot. Schaefer, one of those drivers that was up at the front for quite a while, but showing us that track position is a huge factor in tonight's event, as Brody Hanna closes that gap to Goom as well up front. But we're still watching this battle, because Schaefer has just taken that position away from McKinney without much of an issue. The 29 and the 28. All we need is a 27 to say that 7, 8, 9. And that is a schoolyard joke if I've ever remember one, as Goom is still getting an absolute rear mirror full of Brody Hanna's machine. Lane Allen also under fire from Chapman. There are battles happening everywhere for the 9th position, but this is currently for the 4th position, as Brody Hanna takes that spot away. And Brody continues to amaze and impress us up here in the booth. Let us know on the YouTube side of things who you're cheering on, where you're coming from, all the rest of it. I would love to hear from you. Maybe have a bit of a chat up here in the broadcast booth. Always up for some fun. And if you let us know who you're cheering on, we can give them a little bit of a spotlight and see how they're doing at the moment as we're getting ready to watch this battle unfold with Chapman and Allen. Chapman making passes all over the bottom of the track so far. However, Allen is sticking to the low side this time around, doing a pretty good job. Unfortunately, Chapman just too much pace right now. So Chapman is going to take that spot away. Close battle further up the field as Bobby Terrell has just got taken over really by TJ Bartel. These two drivers running similar-ish sort of paint schemes. And interesting to note, because remember, this brought out the caution earlier on with Bobby Terrell getting a little bit loose, getting into a lap down machine, and that machine coming down and hitting TJ Bartel. So hopefully no bad blood between these two drivers as they've worked themselves out for the moment and they continue to be nose to tail, but a little bit of distance separating them right now. Speaking of distance, Richie Coy out in front of the field by a full minute and, well, not a minute, that would be insane, wouldn't it? A second and 1.2 seconds. 1.3. Let's give him 1.3. It's just about there. As Hollingsworth has caught right up to the back bumper of Williford. And look who is right behind them. Brody Hanna. Ian Chapman coming in, cheering for Ryan Chapman, as well as Sam Squanch Sally saying Team Pudgies. So that's that's a good call right there. But Brody Hanna taking over that position from Hollingsworth, as we're gonna pan back to Chapman right now, doing a fantastic job. Now Chapman hasn't left our screens very much during this broadcast so far, and that is because he has been making waves so far. He's only up 2 positions from where he started. But remember, with those pit cycles, I believe came down during the stage caution. So a little bit later than some of the drivers in front at the moment, with 3 laps of, about 5 laps, excuse me, of fresher tyres. However, those laps were under caution of them. So not going to be quite as worn a difference as we'd expect. But Ryan Chapman doing a great job catching up to Milliken at the moment. And Milliken's not going to want to see Chapman in the rear view because Chapman has had a lot of pace. But we're going to have to pan back up front because look what's happening. Brody Hanna underneath Sherwood Williford. And Brody Hanna has just got to make you smile. I don't know how this man has been able to do this. But we talked to him a little bit before the show, and Brody Hanna seemed like he was in a very cheerful mood. He told me, I hope I have fun with the broadcast, and I tell you what, I'm having fun watching this guy go around because he has put on a clinic so far, but it's going to take something very special to catch up to Richie Coy, who is a full 1.5 seconds in front of the field at the moment. Just behind, though, you can see Goulmer and Bartel side by side. Goulmer went on the high side, almost caught into the wall. Decided probably won't make the move that time around. Maybe try again later on. As I believe Bartel actually made that move for position. Yes, he must have, because he was battling with Terrell, who is still behind these two. You can see just there in the background. There's a lap down car you can see there as well, fighting with some loose rear end. I believe that might have been Leonard Stang, and it was so. The number 9 machine looking a bit loose, trying to keep something underneath that machine. It looks like he's dialed it in for the moment, so that's looking pretty good. Speaking of looking pretty good, what is happening here is we've got a cluster right now. Tyler Brown is further ahead, but Josh Mayu, Cody McKinney, and Tony Soler. So Soler seems to have burned up some of those tyres quite early on as he's dropped back into the 17th position, still up one spot from where he started. Biggest mover of the race so far, Lane Allen, up 18 spots, currently sitting in the 11th. Sam Squanch Sally once again coming in with an interesting question, asking me what kind of animals are on my farm. Well, I can tell you, we don't have kangaroos. Sorry to disappoint you. I know that that's going to disappoint some of the people watching the stream, as we've got a yellow flag come out. The animals, by the way, are sheep. So we have yellow flag come out, and that's an interesting one. We don't actually have a reason for that one coming out. However, we do see a couple of cars come down pit lane, so we'll see if we can try and get a view on that's come out for. Our timing software hasn't shown anyone. Apologies to jumping straight back to Leonard Stang, but he was having a little bit of loose issues, so I was wondering if that may have caused the yellow flag, but it doesn't seem like it did. Have Jeff Brayton, who's coming down pit lane, but was he coming down safely? Link, and it looks like he was. So not quite sure what that one was for. That's not ideal, is it? Not bad. That's a terrible joke. Ah. I know you may not know me, but if you know me, my sense of humor is, uh, let's say it is that level of humor. So, yeah, not the best. But it does look like I can't find the incident, so apologies for that one. As all of these trucks have come down pit lane and they're going back out right now. Yeah, so I'm really sorry about that. Sometimes the timing software, you know, it's not entirely perfect and doesn't show any kind of incident. And there's only so much that I want to show you before it gets repetitive and, oh, here he goes again, can't find it. No. I mean, I know how that feeling is. So I certainly don't want to put you through that, especially desperately not wanting to miss our green flag running. So we will try and see if we can see anyone in the pits. We've got Tony Soler in the pits, taking an extended stay. So maybe it was Soler. Now we'll see if we can actually find that. Find it. Please, oh please. Try our hardest to see Soler there. Inside is the 28 machine. That's going to be Cody McKinney. And we'll see if this brought out anything. As we may have to follow it for just a little bit. Oh, I believe the actually came out. Them to be interesting. Money. Come on. This is going to be our final chance to find something interesting. No, that's under caution. Alright. I'm giving up. I don't want to put you through watching cars go round an oval, not knowing exactly what I'm looking at anymore. So, yeah, just on that point that I have sheep on my farm, they're not fun to deal with. I'm just gonna put this out right now. Like, they will break down the fence. I've seen them go through fences. I don't know how they do it. But yeah, the thing to be careful of is there's plenty of snakes around my farm though. Found a snake egg actually a couple of weeks ago underneath my house. That was an interesting find. I dealt with it accordingly, but yeah, certain things you just kind of come across just at random. I grew up a city boy and only converted to farm life a couple of years ago, so it's all kind of new to me still. But thankfully the locals are pretty accommodating even to new people, so that is very nice. I say locals, it's pretty spread out as you can imagine. But anyway, Richie Coy, currently your leader. Brody Hanna is going to show him the what for up front. These two both leading the field by over a second and a half at different points of the race, so it'll be interesting to see who has the legs on who. Hollingsworth and Bartel behind in the second row, and Sherwood Williford and Alton Goom in the third row. So we're getting ready to go once again, and here we go under green straight away. Richie Coy getting a push from Hollingsworth, and Coy gets a push straight out to the front as Bartel, not the same sort of manners for Brody Hanna, as Hanna is left wanting on that high lane. And Richie Coy gets absolutely shunted to the front with Hollingsworth, excuse me, not sure where I got Smith from. Hollingsworth just behind. So Hollingsworth also going to be in the path of Brody Hanna now, as the two of them mainly stay single file for a lot all the way back to Nick Goebel, who is currently thinking about going 3 wide. Tuck back in, Goebel, you know you want to. No, he's not quite close enough to do so, as he's going to get checked up by Williford on the high side. And that's going to allow Ryan Chapman to take potentially both spots. And does so. So Chapman now up into 7th. Williford into 8th. Goebel's fighting through to get that 8th spot back, as Brody Hanna's passed Richie Coy, and so has Hollingsworth. Apologies for missing that one, as Richie Coy has to fall back in line. He's going to be stuck up high for the moment as Bartel tries to take advantage. The door was slammed shut by Richie Coy just then though, as Hollingsworth sets the fastest lap by another 10th, so 30 seconds flat. So they are absolutely moving here at Texas. That 19 machine has figured something out, as he is up 15 spots and continues to move up, as Brody Hanna's got something to say about it though. That inside line has been the preferred line all night and is going to be once again, as Hollingsworth right on the back bumper. Hollingsworth knows just where those bumpers are, doesn't he? I mean, you can see just how close he gets to the rear bumper of Brody Hanna there, and amazingly not actually touching, as he's going to get as much draft as possible and dives to the inside. No, fakes outside. That was a very interesting move. Not sure what happened there. And looked like a little bit loose in the middle of the corner as well for Hollingsworth, but keeps the power in it. And he's going to go for another attempt, I'm sure. Down the back straight once again. That's where he's been stronger than Brody Hanna so far in this run. Oh, but he's got Richie Coy underneath him now. Hanna goes to block both lanes, as Coy goes for that move on Hollingsworth. and able to get that done. So he's on the low side right now. Hollingsworth has to be aware of Coy just underneath him. Not going to be happy to see that one, as Brody Hanna's going to be very happy to see that one unfold. As Richie Coy and Stephen Hollingsworth were side by side for a split second, so are Bartel and Terrell just behind them. These two battling for the 4th place spot on track at the moment. Terrell definitely having that low side, which is much preferred at the moment. I wonder if that top side will ever get the asphalt on it that it requires for it to basically get dialed in the way that these drivers are hopefully wanting it to make some passes on the high side. Ryan Chapman looked like he was going to make a move on Bartel, but not quite close enough to do so. As it looks like Brody Hanna has got Richie Coy right on the back bumper. Hollingsworth is still waiting and watching. So these trucks all in a line for the most part, as it looks like Schaefer and Goom are going to be side by side. Schaefer on that high side is going to take it away though, as Goom has to check up as he entered quite a bit lower than I think he expected himself. That's going to allow Tyler Brown to maybe make a move as well on that high side, as the momentum is stunted by Gum. Gum drifts up a little bit up the track, but not enough to hinder Tyler Brown, as Brown looks to take that position again, and does so. As we're going to jump on board the nose camera. Thankfully, all these cameras provided by Sherwood Williford on the car, and you can see just how close these cars are. Even though they're in a line, they're so close together, and just drifting a little bit wider up the track than the trucks in front of him. Excuse me, I believe I said cars at one point or another. And right on the back bumper, you can see Schaefer there, making it known that he's going to be making a move at some point soon. As we pan the camera back to Bartel and Chapman. Ooh, getting very, very close. Chapman almost goes careening to the inside wall. I believe that was a controlled dive though, as he tried to avoid getting into the back bumper of Bartel, as Bartel came up in front of the nose of that 27 Ford. Chapman still in the middle of this massive line. Terrell, Bartel, Chapman himself, Williford and Schaefer, all in a very, very tight group. Too much distance separating these ones all the way from 4th to 8th. As Schaefer starts to fall a little bit further back, Brody Hanna is not increasing that gap, by the way. Richie Coy is not letting him get too far out in front, and it keeps that gap to about 0.15 of a second, about 1.5 tenths. As Chapman now makes a dive to the inside of Bartel, trying to make that pass into the top 5. Not able to do so. Bartel doing a great job of making that high line work better than I think we've seen anyone else do so far tonight. But Chapman is going to be able to make that pass now, heading into turn 1 and out of 4. Got that run into turn 1. As he has made that pass. So he's got that one and done. Excuse me. Oh, as Bartel goes for a massive run. That's going to be very interesting to dive back down to the inside of Chapman. But Chapman holds his line very well. And Bartel is going to be left wanting just behind, waiting for another move to make. As we go a little bit further back, Schaefer looks for Wilford. This is still in your top 8. Let's cycle it on back to further down in the pack as we've got another big battle going on here. Lane Allen right behind Cody McKinney with Michael Blackner and Josh Mayu right behind him. So there are close battles happening all over the place as we got our pants straight back as Chapman has made his way around Terrell. Chapman up into 4th. I start to get nervous now when Terrell and Bartel are side by side. So they're still very, very even, door to door, as they come out of turn 4 and head across the checkered line. I almost said flying, mixing the flag and the line together. That'd be a weird one. As Terrell is going to be left behind Bartel for the moment, and they've got a complete mirror full of Wilford and Schaefer. Schaefer tries the high side. Right now, not quite able to do it. Still going to stay side by side, but he is going to take that position just for the briefest of moments. But it looks like there was a little bit of slowness out of Terrell just ahead of them. On that inside line, potentially checking up Williford just a little bit and allowing Schaefer to get that run on the backstretch that he needed to pull down in front of Williford, and does so. So for those wondering what's going on and happening up front, as you can see on the timing tower, and I will pan back to that as well, might as well. You can see there Brody Hanna and Richie Goy are both. We were wondering what would really happen with these two, and they are both making their way quite a ways ahead of the rest of the field, aside from Hollingsworth able to keep his Ford in the picture. So Ford's taking the top 4 spots. In the 5th place is TJ Bartel. He is the only non-Ford in the top 5. So you've really got to wonder if this is a very manufacturer Ford friendly Texas track. As these Fords are looking very planted as well. I myself am a little bit in favor of the Fords. I have to admit that, as I drive a Ford myself. And the camera back a little bit. Tommy Schaefer is trying something against Terrell once again, and again being denied. Just wonder how many times Schaefer is going to get denied when he's trying to go for a run on the high side line, as he gets a little bit loose and he goes around, just briefly loses the back end. Unbelievable save from Tommy Schaefer there, as Wilford manages to make that pass due to that mistake. And Milliken is going to try and make his way around, as well as Goebel, who are the two on the high side. Those two trucks just passing, one of them just under the screen and one of them on the inside now of Schaefer. They are lap down vehicles. I believe I keep calling them cars, not trucks, as in my country we have utes, which are utility vehicles, which is what these look to me like. And they are essentially cars with a tray at the back, and I understand that Americans call them pickup trucks, but it's certainly one of those things that I always have to wrap my head around, because utility vehicles are named cars in my country. But regardless, hopefully you can get some Australian knowledge provided here for you. Not much, but maybe something you didn't know here and there, as Michael Blackner and Tyler Brown currently having a battle for the 14th position. Tyler Brown just in front of the Red Bull machine of Blackner. No disrespect to Blackner, but Red Bull win everything all the time, so it doesn't matter what racing series they're in, they're usually up the front. So, it kind of gets a little bit boring here and there. I don't know if anyone else feels that or just me. As Blackner has made his way around Tyler Brown, so has taken that 14th position away. And Brody Hanna is stretching his legs over Richard Coy right now with an 8/10 of a second gap over Richie Coy. So both drivers seeming to have a lot of pace in the short to medium runs, but over the long run it looks as though Richie Coy just not quite as quick as Brody Hanna is, and that may certainly come down to if we have a caution late towards the end of this race as we're approaching the final, well, less than 30 laps at this point. And boom, it goes around the outside of Milliken. And that is for the 10th place spot. Allen also following through in the 11th position. Allen still your biggest mover, up 19 spots now, as Hollingsworth has made his way down into the pits. So green flag pit stops currently underway. And it's going to be your last pit stop of the night to be able to make it all the way to the end. It'll truly be an interesting sight to see when Brody Hanna decides to pit. Richie Coy holds all the stops right now, as he may be a second behind, but that second can very quickly get demolished and devoured in the space of time if Richie Coy comes down a lap, or even well, 2 or even 1 lap, I should say, ahead of Brody Hanna. That could give him just the advantage he needs to take that position away. So Brody definitely left in no man's land as the leader, deciding when he needs to come down and pit. If he comes too early and a caution comes out, that's going to ruin his race. If he comes too late and Richie Coy has already pitted, that's going to ruin his race as well. Definitely a tough spot to be in when you're the leader, and you can see the difference in speed with some of those new tyres as we pan the camera back to Mick Goebel, and he has taken the position away from Williford for the 5th place spot. This battle is actually still raging on a little bit longer than I expected, but no, it looks like Goebel is going to take that spot away. Williford getting a nice run on the high side that I didn't expect to see. Dilts and Brown have come in. Goebel, Williford, Bartel all coming down pit road. Goom as well. I believe I said Goom already, but we're saying it again. We have said him again as I lose my voice up here in the booth. 23 laps to go, and green flag pit stops, as we have been told, are currently underway. I hope you're excited watching the broadcast, because I certainly am, as we ramp up the end of this race. Brody Hanna still separated by a 1.2 second gap above Richie Coy. Ryan Chapman still sitting in the 3rd position, and Lane Allen through pit stops maybe, but still up 25 spots. And Richie Coy and Brody Hanna both coming in at the exact same lap. That is going to not shake up the standings as much as we were potentially expecting, as Richie Coy may have to do something quick, or may have to get his pit crew to really dial it in and get out as quick as possible to try and take that spot away from Hanna, as Chapman takes over the lead for the moment. It really depends when he comes down. He should come down this time by. He doesn't want to lose too much time, and in he does come. So taking over the race lead right now is going to be Michael Blackner, and he's going to get a lap led here at Texas. See there, Brody Hanna has just come out of the pits. Where is Richie Coy? There he is, just behind. Richie Coy did have a slightly faster pit stop. Only about 3/10 though. As I'm not thinking that that is going to be enough. Josh Mayu comes down pit road as well. So Mayu is now coming out of pit road, excuse me, as Michael Blackner continues to lead for the moment. That was a very weird camera angle. I'm going to have to tell that cameraman to get his work together. Let's go with that. As Blackner continues to lead, hoping for a caution to come out while he is making this long green flag run. We always see one or two drivers trying this strategy, and if a caution comes out, certainly suiting them. But if a caution fails to come out, it's only making it worse and worse every lap that goes by as Brody Hanna gets their lap back, doing it the manual way, and Richie Coy follows through as well, doing it on race pace and fresh tyres alone. So Blackner continues to lead. Fastest lap of the race has just been set once again. Brody Hanna, and immediately gets fired back with Richie Coy. Both of them underneath 30 seconds for an entire lap. I don't know how they've managed to do that. 29.96 for Brody Hanna, and Richie Coy with a 29.92. So only 700s in it, but definitely could make the difference as Coy is trying desperately to catch up as close as possible to Brody Hanna. I almost said Bartel because Bartel is right in front of Hanna now. Maybe checking up Hanna, maybe working with him. We don't know for sure. As Hanna's going to cost some time though trying to make that way around. And Richie Coy is right there watching it happen. So Coy with a whole heap of speed at the moment, trying desperately, hoping Bartel does not get in the way. Bartel's going to take that inside line as well as Coy. Coy might be able to get a faster run off using that draft to his full advantage, as he's going to have to duck down and try his best to get that spot as quickly as possible, as Hanna is also trying to work his way around more traffic. That is the number 7 of Brian Hoskins, who is a lap down at the moment, able to do so without too much of an issue. So Richie Coy, that is the talking point right now. This is why we're showing you this in its full entirety, because Richie Coy has to do something different, has to try something else if he wants to catch up to Brody Hanna before the race ends, as we have coming to 14 laps to go. Michael Blackner is still staying out, an impressive feat for the moment. James Torrey and Tony Soler as well. All three of those drivers needing to come down to pit lane before this race is over. So believe it or not, Stephen Hollingsworth is actually your leader right now. Once everything cycles through, Brody Hanna just passing Bobby Terrell, who was in second position thanks to those green flag pit stops. So Terrell not going to be looking to give this one up easy to Coy either. Sam Squanch Sally cheering on the 69, the 89 and the 59. And that's going to be Steve Anderson, the 69, the 59 of Joshua O'Connor Sr. And the 89 of Maxwell Solch. And as we were for the numbers, we saw what just happened in front. So Rick Webb, excuse me, is going to bring out that caution, and that is going to spice things up. As, ooh. Okie dokie. So, Webb, it looks like, may have gotten turned. I have to replay that one. We're already on the replay, but we're going to have to bring it back and have a look. As that is the 59. Well, I'm not sure if there was contact or just aero, so we're going to go back one more time. Try and see if we can get a better angle than this, because that is not a great angle. Okay, we'll slow this one right down. And I believe, no, I'm going to say that was just aero, as the 59 really did a great job to avoid hitting the back end of that machine just in front. So that was O'Connor Senior managing to keep out of the rear end of the 54 machine. Might jump on board just one more time. I know I've probably bored you to tears with this, but jumping on one more time with gyro camera, yep, of Rick Webb, just to see if we can feel what he's feeling if he got turned around. No, it simply just stepped out. You can definitely see there as the truck did not make a jump up into the air at all, and it did not seem like it had any of contact whatsoever. So, O'Connor Senior doing, once again, a great job not to get involved in that one. But we are under our fourth caution with 10 laps to go. Can you feel the excitement building? I hope you can. I hope my voice is doing it justice. Stephen Hollingsworth is currently sitting in the first position. We know he has amazing short run pace, but his tyres are quite old at this point. We are going to be at the 124th lap, 125th lap by the time we come round past this caution. He last pitted lap 108. So his tyres are going to be about 5 laps older than Brody Hanna and Richie Coy, starting right behind him. And when I say right behind him, I say Brody Hanna is going to start next to him. So Stephen Hollingsworth has his work cut out for him to keep them both behind him with, I believe, 8 laps or 7 laps to go before the end of this race. Inside line has had the jump this whole night. So when he chooses the inside line, which I'm sure he will at this point, all we can do is hope that that will give him enough of an edge to get in front of Hanna. And then there finds himself the issue with Richie Coy. Also a fantastic short run car. Coy and Hanna have been the class of the field this entire race so far. How will this one play out? We have no idea. Sam Squanch Sally saying the commentator's curse came in. You know, I have to admit, I think I'm one of the worst commentators when it comes to the commentator's curse. I seem to invoke the wrath of the commentator's curse more than any other commentator I've seen. All the leagues I broadcast, it seems like it's a fairly common occurrence, and it seems like it's one of those things that I just cannot break. Might have to get myself a shaman at one point or another to break that one for me. But yeah, it it definitely seems like something that I need to get fixed up. But not much I can do about it, I guess, apart from maybe saying less drivers' names. As yeah, I'm not sure you should be going past the pace car here, Hollingsworth. But Hollingsworth, Hanna, Coy, Bartel, Terrell, and Goebel are going to be in your first 3 rows. This is looking like it's gonna be a dicey one. As the Space Force machine of Hollingsworth is going to have to really chuck in the warp drive on that truck and make that thing absolutely fly to the dimension. I don't know where I'm going with that. I feel like I'm referencing a lot of things at once and mixing them all up, but we'll go with it. As, yep, we get ready to send them on their way. And I tell you, I am excited, and I hope you are as we get ready. Pace car is off. And here we go, we're out for green. Brody Hanna gets a nice jump there, side by side, heading into turn 1. So, we pan the camera up because we're getting ready to see Richie Coy is going to make the move all the way down to the apron. Hollingsworth comes right up, blocks Brody Hanna on the outside line. This is absolutely incredible as Richie Coy has taken that first place away. Hollingsworth, nothing he can do. Brody Hanna right on the back bumper of Coy, about as on the back bumper as you can get. Brody Hanna now making that move to the inside. Richie Coy has to give him the room if he doesn't want to end up in the outside wall. They are fanning out behind these two. 3 wide, almost looking at 4 wide just for a split second. It's unbelievable, as we can definitely see that Chapman, Schaefer and Williford were involved in that big pack. Hanna has taken that position away, but Coy is going to fire back everything he has. I have no doubt about that, as we're 5 laps to go to the end of this one. They're right on the back bumper of each other. Hanna, Coy. Hanna gets a little bit of a bobble on the looseness on the inside. Coy is going to try and take advantage of that down the back straight. It's getting very close, and they touch, and there's a bit of an issue further back. It looked like Soler hit the outside wall. I cannot believe it. We stay in green, as Terrell, it looks like, is very close to Hollingsworth, and no, we're gonna have the caution come out. Holy dooly, I need a drink of water. Woo. So, try and compose ourselves back up for one more time. So once again, we're not showing exactly what the caution was brought out for, but I wouldn't be surprised if it was a late decision by race control there to bring out the caution, as a couple of trucks, I should say, once again, get caught up in the wall. You can see just further ahead. So we'll try and grab... Is it Blackner? Might have been Blackner. No, it was ahead. Oh, it was a Schaefer. So Soler on the high side. Schaefer. Oh. Yeah. So that unfolded. And then it looked like the caution came out not too long after that. So I'm going to assume that that is what brought out the caution, because our timing software isn't showing us anything else. And let's have a look. So Soler's coming through. It doesn't look like Schaefer knew exactly that he was there. Schaefer's got enough room to come up, so he tries it. Oh, Soler actually might have come down off of the high side, as they could have ran 3 wide fairly well. Soler looked like may have moved down into Schaefer there. So that is, yeah, that was an event. So we get ready for just action. Sam, these restarts are definitely bussin'. It is fantastic to see you very active in chat. Thank you very much for basically interacting with me, I guess, more than anything else I could say. It really means a lot. And now understanding why the sheep are going through my fence. So thank you for that. That's that's not nah. That's all right. We like to make fun of each other. Yeah, and I don't mind. I cop flack. That's how the Aussies do. That's how we grow up. So, yeah. But no. I must admit, they did say that I'm doing great afterwards, so that was nice. So, thank you, Sam, once again. So, I must admit, there is a couple of leagues that I broadcast other than this one. One of them, I have this segment where every caution, I try and bring in a dad joke. Now, I already know that there's going to be some people listening to the broadcast going, ugh. And that's fine. I won't do it. But I'm just saying, you know, it's something I like to do. It keeps, I mean, maybe I will do it. Maybe spice it up a bit. Nah. I won't do it because some people are so, like, upset with dad jokes. Other people love them. I mean, me personally, my sense of humor is absolutely garbage. So, like, yeah, I love dad jokes. They're amazing. So, yeah, I'm gonna. I don't know. I was about to start a sentence and I decided against it. But Brody Hanna and Richie Coy, now they're on the front two rows, and it's gonna be dicey. We're gonna see if Richie Coy can hang with Hanna on that restart. That high side has been not the preferred lane every single start, and we did see that Hanna fell back behind Richie Coy on the last restart when he started in the second row on the inside line. So we're going to have to see something special here from Coy if he wants to challenge Hanna for the lead, as Bartel and Hollingsworth are going to be in your second row, and your third row is taken up with Bobby Terrell and Nick Goebel. Goebel on the high side there in the 25 machine. Yep. So we get ready, and I prepare my voice as Brody Hanna and Richie Coy go at it once again. We're going to follow through the entire restart this time as Brody Hanna takes a nice jump. Hollingsworth pushing the back bumper of Brody Coy to give him as much advantage as possible. Hollingsworth, one of the best restarters we've definitely seen, able to push Coy out to the front just maybe, as it looks like Bartel is thinking about 3 wide, is going to do it, sending it. Brody chucks the defense, not able to let it happen as Coy stays high. Coy and Brody Hanna going side by side once again. All the way up on the high side goes Goebel as he tries something different. Hanna and Coy, white flag is out. Right behind them is Hollingsworth and Bartel, literally on the back bumpers. Who are we going to see coming out into the top spot as Hanna takes that spot away? Coy has only 2 turns left. Can he do something? Jucking down the inside is Goebel trying to make something 3 wide for the third place spot. They're bumping and banging in the third place spot as we reach it once again. Hollingsworth gets knocked out all the way back as Hanna and Coy go side by side. Hanna takes it over from Coy, and Bartel, by 1/100th of a second, beats Goebel to the line for that third place position. And you can see the fan out there as it was unbelievable finish here tonight at the Martin Sports Truck Series here at Texas Motor Speedway. Gonna get some guns. Gonna fire them up into the sky after this one. So we will bring up your results, and you can see just how close everyone was to each other. Brody Hanna and Richie Coy, 1 and 2. TJ Bartel in third. Goebel and Terrell in fourth and fifth. Ryan Chapman, Michael Blackner, Sherwood Williford, Stephen Hollingsworth, and Cody McKinney, top 10. I'm going to basically take a short break from talking before the interviews begin, and I will let this screen cycle through at a slow enough pace. You can see where your favorite driver has ended up on the field as Brody Hanna continues to celebrate his win here tonight. So Brody Hanna celebrating in style. See if we can get some interview started as we wait up here in the booth for our top 3 drivers to make their way in. Waiting on Bartel, Boy, and Hannah make their way up to give a bit of talking to them. I'm very interested to see what these drivers have to say, and I will try to keep the broadcast conversations a little bit shorter than what I have done in the past. I must admit, I sometimes am a bit. I sometimes like to embellish myself a little bit, as Bartel was the final one to make his way into the waiting room, and he'll be the first one in. So, TJ Bartel, have you got a copy?
Yes.
Well, good day, mate. First of all, hello from Australia. My name is Gareth, just in case you are wondering. And how was that race from your perspective?
Pretty exciting. Truck was really good, and I got kind of caught up in that first incident there and lost some track position, pitted, and kind of got it back. And the I really, needed a really long run. My truck was really good on a really long run. I was kind of wondering there at the end how it would hold up, but did pretty well.
Well, I tell you, we were a little bit interested to see. I have to bring it back to you with Bobby Terrell. Are you guys good friends off track? Because we were wondering if there was a little bit of bad blood potentially forming from that contact, as I believe I think it was Terrell, or might have been, I can't remember exactly if it was you or Terrell, but one of you got a little bit loose and accidentally sent a car into the wall, and that car came down and hit the other.
Yeah, it was Bobby. He was working on a lap truck, and somehow they made contact. I didn't really see what happened, and one of them came down and got me in the right front and sent me in the grass. But no, me and Bobby are good friends, so no hard feelings whatsoever.
That's great to see. We were just wondering for a briefest of moment. We thought it was all good. You've always got to ask these questions as an announcer in the booth. But I tell you, it's been an amazing watch seeing you guys do what you do out on track. Is well, I mean, final question I have to ask you how. Oh boy, I said I wouldn't waffle in the broadcast booth. Exactly what I'm doing. So Bartel, I gotta ask you, what's going on with the paint scheme, buddy? It's some nice blue, and is that blue, white, and red? Is that meant to be representing the good old USA?
Yeah, my sponsor is the American Battlefield Trust, and they work to preserve battlefields in the United States from the Civil War, War of 1812, and the Revolutionary War.
Oh, that's absolutely amazing. So that's you know what? Hat off to them. I must admit that's actually really cool. I'm a big like history sort of fan, especially war history. Definitely need to preserve that stuff. And final, finally, any sponsors, shout outs, family, friends, anyone you'd like to give a shout out here tonight to see you up here in the booth. I know you probably want to shout out your trust again, so yeah, be my guest.
Well, thanks, guys. Thankful for what you guys do up in the booth. It's always cool to watch these things back and see what transpired throughout the field. Want to thank Martin Sports for sponsoring the series. Want to thank Brody and all the admins here at FTSR. They do an awesome job. It's a monumental task to run a big league like this, and the drivers out on the track, fellow drivers, thank them for good, hard, clean racing. Thank my wife for letting me do this. Thank God above, and thank American Battlefield Trust.
All right. Great talking to you, Bartel. And should I say TJ? Probably say TJ. And
Either or, I've always been called worse.
okay. Well, that sounds good, TJ. I will hopefully, I don't know, I might not see you again, but it's been great talking to you, and I'm sure you'll be up here in the booth talking to whoever it is in short order.
Thanks, guys. Really appreciate it.
All right, that was TJ Bartel bringing it home in third. Next up, Richie Coy in the second position. Richie, you got a copy?
Hey, what's up? How's it going?
Not much is up and not much is going, I tell you, but there's got to be a lot going from your perspective. Got to tell me about that last restart. I mean, that really, first of all, second last restart, you had the jump on Brody and then he just clinched it before the final yellow flag. You almost had a run diving into that final corner. Just tell me what was going through your head when that final caution came out, or when it just went to green for the end.
Well, honestly, I was not happy that any of them questions came out because Brody and I wanted to race for the win there, and we were just trying to pace ourselves and get to the end so we could fight for the last couple laps together. But anything can happen on a restart, and the reality is that you got different guys pushing, and it was the power of the 19s. Apparently, somebody got into the server with the wrong number and took my number, so it was the power of the 19s. The 19 gave me a fantastic restart. Push on that last restart, and truck stuck when I got down in 1 and 2, and then it was on from there. Brody and I, we raced hard, we raced clean, and the reality is Fury Motorsports won. Congrats to Brody, and we'll take the second tonight.
I did see that. I did want to comment on that as well. Did you find that the outside lane just didn't have the run you needed? Did it really come down to Hollingsworth giving you that shove at the end on the outside to keep you up with Brody Hanna on the restart?
Yeah, so if I'm actually watching your stream here, and you can see how far back TJ is from Brody. So Brody's going in there by himself, but the 219s, we're basically drafting. I know we're doing really slow there, but that bump that he pushed me just gave me the momentum to be able to get up on the outside and take the kind of line away from Brody on the inside. But yeah, the outside's usually on a pretty bad disadvantage on these restarts because the trucks just don't have the power. We're still coming up through the gears, and it bogs. So yeah, it is what it is, man. We try. Can't say I didn't try.
Well, I tell you, you definitely tried, and you had a great run. I guess, yeah, I'll talk to Brody a bit more about that as I get him up here in the booth. But for the final send-offs, well, not the final send-offs, but your final send-offs, who would you like to give a shout out to for the second place finish here tonight?
My team, Fury Motorsports, Brody, Bobby, Tony. We all ended up with different various strategies throughout the race. I mean, Brody stayed out to get the stage win. I pitted. Tony didn't pit at the end. Bobby got a little bit of damage. So we had kind of every facet covered tonight. But we had a great setup. We came with a couple great guns tonight. Thanks to the league. Thanks for you for hopping on board. I can't wait to actually go back and watch the stream, the broadcast. So thanks for hopping on board. And hi to Tony's mom and dad. And thanks for everybody who got to watch.
All right, sounds good. Very humble, great guy, Richie Coy, I can already tell. It has been fantastic to talk to you, and I guess I'll see you, if not me, someone else will see you up here in the booth in short order.
All right. Thank you, sir. Have a good night.
You too. That was Richie Coy bringing it home in second. The man, the myth, the legend, Brody Hanna joining us up here in the booth, though, from the top spot. Brody, what is going on? How you feeling?
How's it going, man?
It is going spectacularly, but I bet it's going better for you up in that machine. How was the 23 car tonight? Or truck, I should say.
That thing was on rails. It was awesome. I knew we had a pretty good piece coming in. Kind of messed up a little bit in qualifying, but I knew we had a really good race set. it kind of paid off. I know Richie had a good run. Bobby had a good run for the team. I know Tony was in position, had some things going back there, unfortunately, but definitely had some good pieces tonight. Was looking forward to this one, but put a lot of pressure on myself too because I knew I was expected to perform here, from myself, and luckily lived up to my high expectations.
That's always what you want to do. That's great to see. I tell you, Brody, I have to ask you, was there something to do with Ford dominance here tonight? Because it seems like the top 10 spots are taken up by 7 Fords. So, was there something to do with the F-150 that just seemed better than the other trucks you reckon out there today?
Oh, listen, the Fords are fast. We're fast every week. It's always kind of a strong suit. You got a good engine under the hood and able to pull down the straights pretty well. I know we were making some pretty good time down the at the end of the straightaway, so I could definitely feel it. I do appreciate the Ford power. Appreciate everybody out there too, racing with respect for the most part, giving room. It's just just kind of worked out. It was a good. I had my doubts with the stage break going the way it did and not having tires at the end, but
Well, let's talk about that as well because you also won the stage. So, surely that's got to do something to your confidence.
confidence, yes, because I was worried when we did that. I stayed out for the stage and knew it was going to kind of put us in a hole back there. Restarted 13th, and I didn't. I was like, it's going to take me forever to kind of work through traffic. Luckily, we got a green flag run there. Was able to make it back up to second before the caution came out again. And at that point, it's kind of a reset. So just sometimes you have to have a little racing luck too. And luckily, things went our way tonight.
All right, sounds good. Well, I won't take up any more of your time. Make sure to enjoy some champagne or a nice cold beer. I don't know whichever one you prefer down in Victory Lane with your team. But before I let you go, just briefly, who would you like to shout out here for this first place finish here tonight?
Well, first off, I got to thank you guys, Garrett. You guys at Goon Squad for coming on for this one-off for the truck series for sure. Looking forward to working with you guys hopefully in the future as well. I got some things we're kind of working in the background, but again, appreciate you guys coming on. I know there was a little confusion last week. Appreciate your patience through that, and hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope everybody watching on Goon Squad enjoyed it. Enjoyed our racing. I got to thank the team, Fury Motorsports, again. Working on these setups, getting them fine tuned. Knew we had a good piece and just had to come out and perform. So, got to thank those guys. Got to thank everybody in the race for mostly keeping it clean and green. And I had a few accidents, but that happens. And thank everybody for supporting the league. And lastly, got to thank Martin Sports for sponsoring the series for sure. MartinSports906.com. If you want some apparel or custom apparel, some sports apparel, gloves, stuff like that for sim racing, check them out. But I appreciate them coming on and sponsoring the series. And other than that, guys, hope you enjoyed it. Garrett, thank you for what you guys are doing, and we'll go celebrate a little bit.
All right, sounds good. I might have to check out some Martin Sports stuff because I can tell you I don't have racing gloves and I could definitely use them on my leather steering wheel. Starting to fall apart a little bit. Getting a bit mucky on my hands. But yeah, so it's been great to talk to you, Brody, and I guess we'll catch you later on in the future.
Absolutely, Garrett. We'll see you.
Right, that was Brody Hanna bringing it in the top spot here at Texas Motor Speedway. On behalf of Team Goon Squad, as well as the full Throttle Sim Racing Series, Martin Sports Truck Series specifically as well in that, I would like to thank you all for coming out. Thank you for tuning in. Hopefully you enjoyed it, and we will catch you next time. And make sure you tune in to the truck race again next week, heading into Bristol Motor Speedway on dirt. So definitely something you would like to check out. I know I will, certainly indeed. So have a good night, enjoy yourself, and I'll see you around.